Syria is one of several fronts where Israel has engaged Iran-backed rebels. For a look at how Israel is responding to this news, let's bring in Tom Perry, who's part of the CBC News team in the region, joining us now from Jerusalem. So, Tom, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been reacting to Assad's ouster today. What did he say?
Well, Benjamin Netanyahu was out in the Golan Heights. That's on the border between Israel and Syria. And he was, frankly, taking some credit for hastening the downfall of Bashar al-Assad. Israel has carried out airstrikes against Iranian-backed militias in Syria. It's attacked Iranian commanders in Syria, and it's waged, of course, its brutal campaign against Hezbollah, decimating Hezbollah in Lebanon. Hezbollah was a staunch ally of the Assad regime. So we heard Benjamin Netanyahu talking about all that today. Here's some of what the Israeli Prime Minister had to say.
This collapse is a direct result of our forceful action against Hezbollah and Iran, Assad's main supporters. It set off a chain reaction of all those who want to free themselves from this tyranny and its oppression. If we can establish neighborly relations and a peaceful relations with the new forces emerging in Syria, that's our desire. But if we do not, we'll do whatever it takes to defend the state of Israel and the border of Israel.
So that was Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu talking about, taking credit, as I said, for weakening the Syrian regime, leading to its eventual downfall, saying at the end there that Israel will wait and see what happens in Syria, decide whether it can work with this new power that's emerging there, but making very clear that if it can't, it will defend itself.
Tom, putting those words into action today, saying, we'll do whatever it takes to defend Israel and Israel's border, beefing up the presence in the Golan Heights, an area of land, of course, bordering Syria. What can you tell us about that?
Well, there's been a buffer zone between Israel and Syria for 50 years, since it came after the 1973 Yom Kippur War. This buffer zone was established. There's been a UN presence, but there was also Syrian presence in this buffer zone. Benjamin Netanyahu says the Syrian troops have pulled out. So he ordered the Israel Defense Force to go in there, take up those positions, to watch across the border, across this buffer zone, to see what's going on, to monitor what's happening in Syria. I should say as well that we've seen airstrikes against government, it looks like weapons positions in Syria carried out. Well, the IDF has not commented formally, but we are seeing in Israeli media saying this was Israeli airstrikes continuing to take out weapons facilities in Syria, even after the downfall of the Assad regime, to make sure that any kind of weapons that are being made there, produced there in Syria, don't end up in the wrong hands.
CBC's Tom Perry in Jerusalem. Thank you.